Alright, so this deck right here is all about bringing out Colossal Fighter Assault mode, and that's basically it, just trying to bring him out with this new link format. Okay, so after video thoughts on this deck, the deck worked surprisingly well, and I'm trying to think of like why exactly. Because see, the reason I used Phantom Knights was because I wanted to take advantage of Colossal Fighter Assault Mode's effect of sending 2 warriors to the graveyard. And the only real warrior type monsters that benefit from being sent to the graveyard are Phantom Knights and like heroic challenger cards. And I can't really think of any other ones that just have pure graveyard viability that don't rely on like other cards and effects. Because with this deck, I need like all of the resources in the deck to bring out Assault Mode, Colossal Fighter Assault Mode. So I can't really afford to play an extra archetype inside of it. And Phantom Knights are a really good like support archetype. You can play them with other things, and they work well with other stuff. Because these 2 Phantom Knights right here, actually all 3 of them have effects that activate in the graveyard. And 2 of them are basically about adding a card from your deck to your hand. And the Phantom Knight trap cards all have effects in the graveyard as well, to basically special summon one of your Phantom Knight monsters. So, Phantom Knights are an awkward level, though, when it comes to bringing out Colossal Fighter Assault Mode, because I need to bring out a level 8 Synchro monster, and they're all level 3. So the only way to actually synchro with the Phantom Knights, if I drew into them, would be to use 2 of them plus a level 2 monster. That's why I'm running O-Lion and Arcane Apprentice. Because I thought, you know, if I draw into the Phantom Knights, which is possible, because I'm playing a lot of them, I think a fourth of the deck is Phantom Knight cards. Although the Phantom Knight trap cards, thankfully, work on pretty much anything and don't rely on just Phantom Knight cards being on the field in order to do things. Fogblade, people consider it better than Fiendish Chain. Phantom Knight Sword, I use this card a lot in my anti-meta decks because it's just really good. And I actually get to use its second effect, so it's just a great card all around. Doesn't really benefit what this deck's trying to do though, so I only ran one. And I was just testing out Wronged Magnet Ring. What this card does, it allows you to negate an attack and then special summon it as a monster. And then it has a monster effect where it can tribute a Phantom Knight card in itself to draw 2 cards. I was just testing it as a way to like get rid of Fogblade, and I never really did that, but it still tested well enough to not remove it either. And Mistclaw was like added really late on as a way to recycle the Phantom Knights that were banished, and it was really good, and I probably should have ran more than one of these. Okay, so besides the awkward levels of the card, let me explain how I actually decided to bring out Colossal Fighter and the thought process behind that. Usually with a level 8 deck, you would just want to run 2 level 4 monsters, a level 4 tuner and regular monsters, but I wanted to run Phantom Knights. So instead, my way of thinking about this was to have the ideal opening hand with the Predaplant engine, to bring out Cobra in order to search out Instant Fusion, to use that to bring out Theseus, and then use Theseus and one of the Predaplants to go into Needle Fiber. Needle Fiber is what makes this deck work. Needle Fiber can search out 2 cards depending on if you have Assault Mode activate or not. If you don't have Assault Mode activate or Assault Beast to search it out, you bring out Apprentice Magician. And then use Apprentice Magician plus the other Predaplant to go into TG Hyper Librarian. In which case you can then search out Assault Mode activate thanks to Apprentice, and then set it, and then have Needle Fiber rank up into Riser Dragon, use Riser Dragon's effect to send an Assault Beast to the graveyard so he goes down to level 3, and then use his second effect to synchro with Hyper Librarian into Colossal Fighter, and you should have a set Assault Mode activate, and there you go. Colossal Fighter Assault Mode. Lots of steps, actually very consistent way to do it. Now, if you do have Assault Mode activate, you go into O-Lion, because this is actually a lot better. With O-Lion, you also use him and one of the other Predaplants to go into TG Hyper Librarian, but then you get a token with which Needle Fiber can then rank up during your opponent's turn, either into a Riser Dragon or Wonder Magician. Wonder Magician is a much ideal support card because it can pop a spell or trap card when it comes out. And then since it's level 5 already, you can just synchro with the token on field from O-Lion, and now you have a Colossal Fighter Assault Mode and Hyper Librarian on the field. So having Assault Mode activate in your hand is better, but both cases you still get Assault Mode activate and you still get Colossal Fighter out, and you still get Assault Mode. It's just, in one case you also get to keep a Hyper Librarian on the field. So, surprisingly, Arcane Apprentice, this really garbage Assault Mode card, works perfectly in this deck. And if I go and do the other Assault Mode decks, I'll probably do something similar where I just use Needle Fiber to search out Arcane Apprentice, and then just kind of build the deck around those levels. Because this one worked out very well. Outside of the Needle Fiber combo though, what I do is try to go into the Needle Fiber combo with like one of the Phantom Knights instead of the Predaplants. Because Phantom Knights are also level 3, and you can basically do the exact same thing if you have one of the Phantom Knights out. And that was the whole strategy of the deck, and it worked out very well. It also allowed me to work it through Disruption just because of the pure advantage Phantom Knights give, due to banishing themselves to search out cards, and due to the trap cards banishing them to bring out Phantom Knights. Also, late game edition, Allure of Darkness. You see, one of the big problems with Assault Mode decks, as someone who's kind of an expert on Assault Mode decks, as I've made videos on all of them in the past before, is the assault mode cards themselves are dead in hand. Like, there is an assault mode card specifically designed to return assault modes back to your deck, because assault mode activate only special summons them from the deck, not the hand. So if they're in your hand, they're useless. You want to get them back into the deck or get rid of them. And that's where Allure of Darkness comes in. Also, the Nightmares and the Predaplants. Basically, having Colossal Fighter Assault Mode in my hand isn't a big deal. That's why I'm running 3 of them, just for consistency's sake. Because if I draw into one of them, I can just banish it with Allure of Darkness. Or discard it with Scorpio. And Allure of Darkness really helped cycle this deck a lot better and made it more consistent. And I only put Allure of Darkness in because, like, Hardleg Joe made a video about why Allure of Darkness isn't good in every dark deck. And that made me think, you know what? Allure of Darkness would be really good in this deck, since Colossal Fighter Assault Mode is dark type. And I just kind of need to cycle through my deck to get to my combo pieces. So, thank God for that, because Allure of Darkness helped out this deck so much. It totally boosted the consistency, and it made it a lot better than it really had any than it had any reason to be. It shouldn't have worked as well as it did, but it did. And I'm really happy with this version of the deck. And I can't really think of any other changes I'd make other than, like, ratios of the Phantom Knight supports, or which ones you'd use. Because it's all well-oiled machine. It works perfectly. And I'm just kidding. There's no such thing as a perfect deck. Remember, I should probably, like, state this in more of my videos. I build my decks based around going against random people on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. If you were to like to take this deck to a local event or something, you have to change things around based on what you know you're going to be going against. My target audience is what I think about when I'm building the deck. I know which kinds of people I'm going to go against already. The people I play against play really weird decks, but if I knew I was going to play nothing but meta decks, it would be completely different. I just thought I'd mention that. And I should probably mention that more often.